Your routine oil change might have just cost you $10,000. While you think you're taking care of your engine, using the wrong generic fluid or missing a single service log gives manufacturers the legal loophole they need to deny your claim. Most drivers are accidentally voiding their warranties right now without even knowing it. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I've been looking into this for a while now. And the more I dug into how warranty denials actually work, not the marketing language.
103 out. Yeah, they can't have a white baseball cap on. Not at the time, but they said they both say mid-20s.
The actual fine print, the more I realized how easy it is to get burned. We're talking about people who did everything they thought was right, changed their oil on schedule, kept their cars clean, never missed a big service, and still got denied on a claim worth thousands of dollars because of something that seemed completely harmless at the time. If you've got a car under warranty right now, new or certified pre-owned, doesn't matter. You need to hear this because the 5 things I'm going to cover are not edge cases. They happen constantly, and the manufacturers know exactly what they're doing when they write these clauses. Stick with this all the way through because the one that surprises most people isn't the first one. It's actually the third one. That's the one that's caught the most people off guard, and it's probably the most avoidable. If this is the kind of practical, no-fluff car stuff you want to see more of, subscribe. We post every Tuesday and Friday, and it's always stuff that actually matters for your wallet. So let's start with the one most people think they already know about, oil changes. Here's the thing about oil changes that nobody really explains clearly. It's not just about doing them. It's about what you used, when you did it, and whether you can prove it. Those are 3 completely separate things that all have to line up, and most people only think about the first one. I'll tell you where this clicked for me. A few years ago, I had a friend, been a mechanic for about 19 years, works out of a shop in the Midwest, sees this stuff constantly, and he told me that the single most common warranty denial he watches happen involves oil, not because people skip changes, because they can't document them, or because they use the wrong spec. Here's what the manufacturers actually care about. They specify a viscosity and a certification standard. A lot of import brands, Toyota, Honda, Subaru, Hyundai, they want an oil that meets specific ILSAC or API certifications. Some require their own branded or OEM spec fluids.
When you go to a quick lube place and they just grab whatever's in the bulk tank, there is a real chance that fluid doesn't meet the exact specification in your owner's manual. And if something goes wrong with your engine, they're going to look at your service records. If those records show the wrong oil grade or a generic that doesn't meet spec, you've given them exactly what they need to say the warranty doesn't apply. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean every oil change at a quick lube voids your warranty. But if you're using a 0W20 specific application and they put in a 5W30 because that's what's convenient, that is a real problem. The difference between those 2 specs isn't just a number. Think of it like the difference between wearing running shoes and dress shoes. They both cover your feet, but ask your knees how different they feel after 10 miles. Check your owner's manual right now. Find the oil specs section, write it down, put it in your glove box. When you go in for a service, hand it to them. That one habit alone can save you a serious headache later. And comment below, drop your car make and model and whether you actually know what oil spec your car takes. I'm genuinely curious how many people have checked versus how many are just trusting whoever's doing the service. Mistake number 2. This one is quieter, and honestly, it's the one I think about the most because it's so easy to do accidentally. Missing a service interval by mileage. Not by much, not because you forgot entirely, just because life got in the way and you went maybe 1,500 miles over your scheduled oil change window. Or maybe you went on a road trip and couldn't get in for a tire rotation until you were 2,000 miles past the recommended interval. Here's why that matters more than you think. Most manufacturer warranties have what's called a maintenance schedule requirement. It's built into the warranty terms. You're not just encouraged to follow the schedule, you're contractually required to. And when you go to make a claim, especially on a powertrain issue, they will pull the entire service history. And if there are gaps, if the mileage jumps from 18,000 to 28,500 with no documented service in between, that is a gap they can point to,
even if the problem has nothing to do with that gap. The frustrating part? They don't have to prove the missed service caused the problem. In many cases, they just have to show you didn't follow the maintenance schedule. That's enough. That's the clause. Mistake number 3. And this is the one I mentioned at the start, the one that gets people, the one I think is genuinely the most surprising. Aftermarket parts. Now, before you click away because you think you know where this is going, hear me out. Because this is not as simple as don't put aftermarket parts on a car under warranty. The reality is more nuanced than that, and understanding the nuance is what actually protects you. Under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act in the US, a manufacturer cannot void your entire warranty simply because you installed an aftermarket part. That's enough. That's the clause.
That's federal law. What they can do is deny coverage for a specific component if they can demonstrate, and this is the key word, demonstrate, that the aftermarket part caused or contributed to the failure. So here's where it gets real. You put in a set of aftermarket brake pads. Perfectly legal. Happens every day. No issue. Your engine fails 6 months later. That brake pad install should not affect your engine warranty claim. They cannot link those two things. But if you install an aftermarket cold air intake and that intake causes the mass airflow sensor to read incorrectly and the engine runs lean and the engine has a failure related to that lean condition, now they have a clear causal argument. And they will use it. I've seen forum threats from Subaru and Ford owners that document this almost to the letter. Guys who installed intake kits from reputable brands, good installs, clean work. And when something went wrong, the first thing the dealer did was look at the intake and write it up. Whether the claim was ultimately honored varied, but the fight? The fight cost time and money either way. The specific parts to be careful about, anything that touches the engine's air-fuel delivery system, anything that modifies suspension geometry, and any ECU or tuning device. Those 3 categories carry by far the highest risk. If your car is still under warranty and you're thinking about any of those, wait, just wait. The math almost never works out in your favor. This is also a good point to mention. I put together a free maintenance checklist that covers all of this stuff, including which service intervals matter most for warranty protection. It's in the description. No email required. Just download it.